New on Curiosity Stream. Deformed trees, mutated wildlife, and no humans for miles. 10 years after the disaster at Fukushima, see what this irradiated ecosystem can teach us about nuclear fallout on Radioactive Forest. Plus, looking for the most diverse marine life on the planet? Dive into the Coral Triangle and experience a frenzy of wildlife you've got to see to believe on nature's greatest secret. It's all on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. 1 in 4 Americans say that this is the first Thanksgiving that they're going to have to handle everything on their own, because obviously people aren't going everywhere. So, you know, if you're used to going to somebody's house where they take care of everything, that ain't happening, which means you got to do it. And a lot of these people go, I'm going to screw something up. That's a lot of people expect to screw a lot of stuff up since they're doing Thanksgiving for the first time on their own.
I imagine like Thanksgiving's going to be less of like the giant family get-togethers and maybe like little pods of families. Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, team of 5 are going to here, team of 5 are going to be there. I know we're doing a smaller Thanksgiving, but still, you know, have some family, but not like 30 people involved.
Yeah, you know, with obviously the coronavirus cases spiking up all over the country, Kathy's really concerned, and so she said, look, I'll come up and see you Christmas. I think I can do that. She says, but I don't want to do 2 flights, and so, you know, she doesn't want to even have to travel at all, but she's willing to do it for Christmas. But yeah, it's just going to be me and her separate this Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Are you checking temperatures? Like, we're going to check the temperature when people come. No, just a turkey. We're going to check the temperature.
Oh, yeah. It's not a bad idea. I've been thinking of getting one of those temperature things because I got some people in my life that I in my circle of 6 that I've been, hanging with, and I just go to Zulu's, and that's where I've been going. I really don't go to any other places, and I don't let but maybe 6 of the same people in my house if anybody comes over to my house.
Okay.
Like it's tough to say, hey, you want to get together?
You're not part of the 6.
That's what I tell people. I go, dude, you're not part of the 6, so no, I'm not going to have you come over to the house. I'm sorry.
What if they take out one of the 6? Does that open up a new spot?
Oh, I see. That's why I want to get a temperature thing.
Yeah, I mean, the temperature only does so much, obviously. But it's nice to know if somebody has a fever. At least
exactly.
That's like, you know what? Let's not be stupid. And who knows why you have that fever? But it's better just to have you not here. You can get one of those guns at like Target.
I have to get one. Vicky, would you get one for me? Thanks, Vicky.
I have to get one. Hey, Vicky, can you do that?
Vicky does things like that. She's like a really good helper.
Yeah, the other day I'm like, oh, you got your camo mask. He's like, yeah, I ordered them. I'm like, I ordered them for you.
I forgot that Vicky ordered them for me.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the kid one, obviously, because of, you just want to make sure when she wasn't feeling well and make sure she didn't have a fever and keep tabs on it. But it's just basically you could use it on yourself, too, because it's a temperature.
Look, I wouldn't need one at all, but people don't like the thermometer that I use. And I just feel...
Well, because you want to do it rectally.
Well, so what? It works. It's probably the best indicator.
It is better than putting it under their armpit.
That's a good point. 60% say the pandemic has forced them to change their holiday plans. And so that is why a lot of us are cooking turkeys for the first time, which that's a beating.
That's the first time ever. A few people said I'm cooking a turkey for my first time. We just got a house this summer.
First tip on that. Well, yeah, deep fry because it's amazing, but do not deep fry a frozen turkey. It'll explode.
Don't do it inside the house.
Never do it inside the house.
Don't do it anywhere. I mean, with a frozen turkey.
Do it in the house. Just make sure you record it.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Put it on the old TikTok.
That'll be the last recording you make, sir.
I'm kidding, of course. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to be doing the turkey and all that, and which is fun because my wife's vegan, but she still has to cook a turkey.
So at least she's willing to cook meat.
Well, family will come over. Like her grandma or mom will probably do the cooking of that.
See, you're lucky because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the most part, you're having the same Thanksgiving you always have. We don't have to do much, right?
Oh, of course. I'm going to just be watching football.
Oh, you know what? It's nice to know the old male traditions. At least that one still goes on. I'll be in the living room. Call me when the food's ready.
It's an open floor plan. Technically, I'm in the living room and the kitchen at the same time. So there I am helping out.
So that's what you're doing to contribute is you basically make sure there are no walls so it looks like you're part of the action.
That's why I bought the house we got.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah.
Or I could sit on one of the bar stools, which is right by the kitchen sink. And boom,
hey.
now I'm slaving away in the kitchen with you.
Yeah, look at you.
At the very least, supervising.
Steve Miggs, modern man.
I'm available. I'm here to help.
Yeah, sure you are. What, to tell everybody what the score is? Or if they don't understand
they need me to turn it up or lower it. I'll never lower it, but if you need me to get it louder.
Yeah, all right.
Do that. Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, none of that. Although I did mention to my wife, because we were talking about yesterday, what was a dessert during Thanksgiving time, and one of the best desserts, and I brought up the chocolate lush, or some people call it the slush cake.
Yes.
Which is just like pudding, whipped cream, some use cream cheese and pecans. And I mentioned that we're going to do a cook-off between me and Sarah, her doing an Oreo cake versus my lush cake.
So that really is happening.
I thought so. I brought it up to my wife, and she effectively just laughed in my face. She's like, wait, she's like, oh, so I have to do, I'm like, no. I had to agree that you aren't going to do it.
Yeah, she can't be part of it.
And that's when she started laughing. She's like, you're going to have to do it? I'm like, yes.
Oh, Sarah's got the edge because she's been making her Oreo cookie pie for years, so she knows what to do with her eyes closed.
What if Steve is just like a baker in disguise and it's the best thing any of us have ever had?
Danny, I will tell you right now, I am not.
Well, but he does watch Buddy versus Duff and the Great Kids Bake Off shows. He watches all that. That should teach him something.
How hard is it? I got Google. I'm just going to follow the directions.
And don't forget the important thing.
What's that?
You just got to yell Hoboken style.
Hoboken style, baby.
It all should work at that point, right?
That's what I always love about those baking challenges when they like have people in there and they just bypass reading the directions and they're like, well, this is why it fell apart. You didn't even bother to read the directions.
Well, there is that, yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it because I love sweet treats and I know I'm at least going to get half of that pretty good because Sarah's Oreo cookie pie is going to be amazing.
Are you allowed to try anything else?
Oh, that's a good question. I hadn't thought about that.
If Steve brings in his pie, you might not be allowed to.
Yeah,
we're not allowed to try it.
No, that's part of the competition. You have to try it.
I'm going to try it.
Sarah might kill him.
But it's not Thanksgiving, so it's okay. It's like 2 days before Thanksgiving.
True. Spoiler alert, here's how it's going to go. I'm going to try Steve's. That's good, Steve. I'm going to try Sarah's. Oh, my God, that is so good. Sarah wins.
Well, yeah, you learned from experience because I was there at the time that you were raving about a certain person's macaroni and cheese at my house party.
Oh, my God.
And your wife just gave you the death glare.
Yeah, the two women in my life act as if they're the only ones that make anything that could be good enough for me, and they get pissed if I stray. My wife probably wouldn't mind if I had an affair, but if I had a food affair, I think my wife would divorce me.
No, I watched it happen at our house back in the Linwood days, and you're just eating this mac and cheese, and it's our buddy Ben, and you're like, "This is the most incredible mac and cheese I've ever had," and your wife's just watching you, and just I could see the anger in her eyes. And I didn't know why. And I'm like, that's odd because you wouldn't stop raving about this mac and cheese. Then you came in the next time on the air and you're like, yeah, my wife's mad at me. Yeah. And I'm like, why? And you're like, because I said that his mac and cheese was the best. And
Ben's was good. I might have been herbally enhanced, which food's always better that way.
Well, it was it was my potluck party.
Yes, it was.
Which you either brought food or weed on April 20th.
And that was pre-wife, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. There's never going to be another potluck party.
Steve's life was complete. Honestly,
one and done.
I would love.
I wish two and done.
I wish we could record Steve's life before and after his current wife, because it really is like two different worlds. It's quite hysterical.
Well, it's also a younger version of Steve who was doing dumber things, and it was a dumb idea, but I thought it worked out well. Where we on April 20th, it fell on a weekend.
Yeah,
I was like, we should have a party and call it a potluck party, and you either bring food or you bring marijuana.
That was some of the best time I ever had. So I would like to argue that was not a dumb idea. That might have been one of the highlights of your life.
oddly enough, our boss did not come to the party, and he actually called me and said, "Hey, I'm not coming to your party." I'm like, "Why not, man? Everyone's going to be there. All the shows, everyone's coming." He's like, "I am still your boss, and I can't show up to a party that is just being basically a pot party."
Yeah, you remember what happened when we had some other members of management that forgot that rule.
Yeah, a former Seahawk came to that party. You remember? And that was pretty awesome. He just retired.
Oh yeah,
and came and he showed up with a half-eaten bag of peanuts and a 6-pack where one of the beers was already gone.
So that Seahawk was great.
That was his contribution to the potluck party.
I missed that Seahawk. Of course, we're keeping that Seahawk's name quiet because who knows if that person's trying to have a respectable life now.
Well, he's like in another state, like doing CrossFit and stuff, and he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, and plus, people don't want to be associated with your potluck party.
And he worked it great because his wife was pregnant, so she drove him there.
Oh, hey,
came and picked him up later.
There's another modern man of the year right there.
It was amazing.
That surely was. Here's a question for you. What do you think is the top sign that you are finally comfortable in a relationship?
Potluck parties.
Potluck parties is what, Well, I'll tell you all about this at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
New on Curiosity Stream. Can we prevent cancer? Explore how our diets, lifestyle, environments, and even technology can possibly prevent this deadly disease on how not to get cancer. And the Boston Marathon. From glory to tragedy to rebirth. The long-distance race by which all others are measured. Narrated by Matt Damon, it's the trailblazing documentary, Boston. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top-Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
Your home equity. It could be an untapped opportunity instead of an untouchable asset. Introducing HomeTap. HomeTap is an investor, not a lender. They give you cash in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Use it to pay off debt, make renovations, fund a business, or just live a better life. There's no interest or monthly payments to worry about. HomeTap. Get more from home ownership. Get more from life. Subject to eligibility. Terms and conditions apply. Visit HomeTap.com to apply in minutes. That's HomeTap.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. We got a new survey, and it asked people to name the biggest signs that you're finally comfortable in a new relationship, and they gave us the top 10. So a lot of us have been there where, we've started a new relationship and thought this person was the one, and then all of a sudden you get comfortable. And when do you think it is that you're doing something you go, this is the person I'm going to be with for a bit? And I'm comfortable with them. I think number one is pretty obvious, though. My wife and I actually hit a new level of our relationship that is the anti-number one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now that's completely, it has to do with living in California together.
Living in Valley. Well, you're kind of on the right path. This is definitely doing something together that you usually do by yourself, but then you add somebody to your life, and then you get comfortable enough that you start doing this with them.
Oh. Sex.
He's not wrong.
That you're not wrong.
Usually starts by yourself.
But you can have sex with anybody. One night stands happen a lot. That's just somebody that you're comfortable with. Somebody that you're spending a lot of time
with. Sex where you don't have to give them money afterwards.
That's it. The number one answer.
Nice. No?
Cashless sex. Just gift cards, please.
Oh, Venmo.
Okay, Venmo. You're right. Venmo works. Nobody has an idea. You do
sleeping
this
together.
There we go. Sleeping in the same bed.
Not sleeping together kind of way, but just
Can I just say one thing? Danny, Vicky, Rev, you should be embarrassed that Steve, who usually never gets anywhere near the top answer,
well, you're
beat you to
cluing
this.
in a no-brainer at that point. I mean, my original thought was that it was going to be watching wrestling without fear of embarrassment.
Yeah, that's oddly specific, but that's numbers. No,
That's when I felt comfortable.
it's not on the thing.
See, my head was just stuck on like the number one thing that I think makes you comfortable in a relationship, and it's farting in front of each other, and that's all I can think of.
Oh, well, let's see. The closest we've got here is number 3, which is leaving the door open when you use the bathroom.
Does it say number 1 or number 2?
It doesn't really go into that specifics, Vicky.
I'll never feel comfortable with the door open in number 2. Like door is closed.
Agreed. 100%.
We're about to hit our 10-year anniversary, and still to this day, like I won't fully lock it closed because Lulu likes to pop in and see how things are going. So I have to kind of still leave it so that she can push her nose in and say, "Hey, Dad, all right, I'm getting out of here."
So you and Lulu are on that level.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, since day one.
Every time I hear that, because when my dog was alive, that dog wanted to do that. I'm like, you're going to get the F out of my space, dog, and if you bark, I'm going to lock you in your crate. So she learned not to bother me in the bathroom.
Well, I mean, it's my own fault, but it started because like I would close the door and then she would paw at the door because she wants to see what's going on, and then it's just like, well, I'd rather not have to deal with that.
You got to be the dog whisperer, man. You got to show her you're in charge.
You're right. I failed her.
Lulu's definitely in charge of that house. She's the alpha. I mean, I don't know I haven't seen your wife lately to know who the alpha is. I just know she beat your wife.
Lulu runs the place, and now Tatum's a close second.
Yeah, I won't have that in my pack. Okay, if I'm not the alpha, guess what? The pack doesn't exist. I don't have just a ball of flames in my pack. That's how I am with my dogs, buddy.
Yeah. How's that treating you? They're all dead.
Well, 15 years. I mean, she had a good run.
Hard time.
Wow. It's not like she had a premature ending.
I know. It's not like she jumped off a cliff. Like, I can't take it in this house anymore.
No, she did jump off the deck, but that's because her eyesight was bad. So she didn't know she was walking off the deck. She didn't know that.
Damn, Steve, you're kind of on the nose.
We didn't know. She used to go on the deck all the time. Then one day she's like, "Where'd she go?" And she's on the ground like, "Hey, everybody, I think you better not let me go on the deck anymore."
It's just a bad joke. I didn't realize that I was actually delving into some serious stuff.
That was a beating, dude. You know, I told my wife, I don't think she can see anymore, honey. We can't just let her walk around where there's a deck.
How about walking around the house naked? Someone texted.
Ooh, good call. I'm looking, and the closest we have is not wearing makeup in front of them. And Steve, when did you stop wearing makeup in front of your wife?
I still put on makeup. I couldn't imagine having my wife having to see me without makeup.
Yeah, showering at their place is number 5 on the list. Walking around naked. Again, what's the problem? If you've already had sex, I feel like you've seen a lot of the bits and pieces anyway, right?
No, I mean, light switches are very helpful when you're not very proud of how your body looks. So then, when you're in the moment of being intimate, you have sheets, you have lights, you have darkness, whereas walking around naked, it's like, here, just look at me. And also, you're not in the throes of passion. So, I mean, it's just look at this.
And you're not, sucking it in or anything. If you're just walking around willy-nilly, if you will.
Yeah, well, Willie's always nilly when we're walking around.
But I remember when I was younger and I was hooking up with dudes, even if it was like a 1 or 2 month hookup where we would hook up occasionally in those 2 months, and I realized, I'm like, I never actually saw the dude naked.
Oh, really?
He was actually very self-conscious. I'm like, I don't think I've ever saw him naked.
Oh, isn't that something?
Even though we did all the stuff.
Yeah, I'm happy I don't have that. I feel like once you've seen the important part, I mean, the rest of it is, at that point, the
important part's not the part I'm ever embarrassed by. Like,
my gut's near there. I feel like that's the only, so I feel like,
the love handles. And
I feel like, unless you can somehow keep your shirt on, but I think that's weird, isn't it? If you're sitting there and, if you're doing I
wear crotchless Spanx. I don't know. Do you guys do that?
Oh, all the time, I never thought about the crotchless Spanx. Yeah,
never have that image in my life.
Yeah. Well, now you do.
And I'm picturing them to be nude color,
of
too.
Course,
so it's worse.
They have to be, of course.
They're sublimated with fake body hair on them.
And we're talking about the top 10 things that are signs that you're finally comfortable in a relationship. Sleeping in the same bed's number 1. Leaving the door open when you use the bathroom's number 3.
What about belching and farting? A lot of people are going with that.
Vicky did say the farting thing, and the most I have is basically just leaving the door open when you use the bathroom. No belching or farting.
No.
But I would imagine that covers it. I mean, if people are seeing you basically relieving yourself,
no, I feel like they're drastically different. A fart just for the sake of farting is way different than the sounds I'm making. If the door is open and you're taking a number 2 ski, you think that farting, it's even worse to see people farting around about it? Yeah. No, I think farting is way less traumatic.
I agree with you. Mm-hmm. So I think if you're already...
But I wouldn't put those two in the same category. That's what I mean.
Oh, it's interesting because they come from the same area, but all right.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because I would do, with the door open number 1 before I farted in front of a dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Wow.
I just grew up with like the door open.
Well,
so it
I
wasn't weird.
guess there are Kelly fans out there, so
I
probably happy
that.
Well, I'm just saying, that people probably wouldn't mind in that case.
See, that's where me and my girlfriend have been for the longest. Like, we will leave the door open when we pee all the time. But then we will not fart in front of each other. But it's not for any specific reason. We just don't. And we've never had a conversation about it, but it's just been part of our relationship.
See how it goes.
Jeez, I wonder how comfortable you are then. But then again, it's not on the list, so maybe it's not a thing for people. Maybe they don't do this around each other.
Most normal people don't fart around their significant others.
Well, if your name is Rev, it's almost impossible.
No, man, it's an art form at that point.
Okay, art form is not what I would use to describe
fart form?
what happens with, or even a fart. Okay. Number 2, Steve, I was always wondering how this would be for you, because look, whenever it's tough enough to do this, but then when you're in a situation where, a lot of people think when there's an age difference, sometimes this next activity that you do is a tough one. And it's the toughest thing sometimes all of us have to do, which is, but you're definitely comfortable, or at least comfortable with the relationship, that you're willing to do this.
Having your significant other shave your back.
Huh?
Yeah, it's surprisingly that's right there on number 2. No,
dude, that was a moment where I was like, I was very skeptical. I just like, I don't know if I can ask her this. Like, I was embarrassed. Like, I was like, or do I just go on Amazon and get one of those back razor thingies?
You really have her shave your back.
Hell yeah!
Was this for wrestling, or
this is solely because of wrestling?
Oh, that
Before
makes
that,
sense.
I never shaved my back because it's not like I have a hairy back. But I mean.
Actually, I don't know what it's like to shave my back for wrestling, but I'm going to take your word for it.
Well, I was like, okay, I should try and clean it all up because I'm wearing something that is going to show like those little patches.
Yeah.
So that was a weird thing though, to be like, hey, babe, I know I haven't never asked you this in the 9 years that we've known each other, but when I'm shaving my head, can you pop in for a second and just like whoop whoop take care of the back?
How was that? How'd that go down?
She was like, yeah, sure, no problem. She thought it was fun.
Oh, see, that grooming.
Girls like picking and prodding things.
Yeah.
So this is like part of like, I won't let her pop a pimple, but so she's like, this is the closest thing I get to like doing body maintenance to you.
We like to groom people. We like to clean them up for some reason. I don't know. It's in our DNA because I've done that with like everyone. I think I've even like cleaned up some of the hair on Danny.
Oh yeah, you've done it. You shaved my head.
Your
yeah,
head, done Danny's. I've shaved my brother's back. I'll shave anybody.
You'll do back shaving?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll have to see about that maybe.
All right.
Do it here at work.
It's great. We did actually in the other room.
I did shave Danny's
You
back.
shaved Danny's back here?
Did you record that? Was that on video?
No,
I think Sarah did,
OnlyFans. It was on Danny's OnlyFans.
That's a little. Yeah.
Why'd you have to shave your back, Danny?
I didn't. Vicky had a new tool, and she's like, "Hey, Danny, can I see your back?" And I was like, "Sure." And then she started shaving it, and I was like, "This is amazing."
It's like a little. It shaves you, but it doesn't feel like you have any like stubble or anything. It grows back really nice, like for facial hair and stuff.
Oh, that's
I was
fantastic.
Curious to see how it would work on thicker hair,
No
and I ended
stubble?
up just like I do my upper lip because
Is that one
I
of
am
those
Chewbacca.
laser wand thingies?
No, it's like a little. Hold on, I might even have it.
Oh, Vicky,
no, I don't.
You carry your razor.
Vicky, you do a good job. I didn't know you had an upper lip situation.
Well, I'm a Chewbacca basically. So.
Oh, really?
I usually carry it around because it'll sneak up on you. Because normally with any other method, you feel it kind of poking at you. But with this, I don't. So all of a sudden,
thing? And where can I?
Yeah, I'd like to get one of those.
They're like these little. I don't know.
Does it
They
work
look like
on
the
the nether regions? Can you try it down there?
I've never
Vicky,
tried
can
it.
you try it on BJ's nether regions?
No, I can. I listen. I can do that myself, but
you can.
But that's the issue sometimes. If you want to be that person, is you get the pokage sometimes. And that's the stubble's uncomfortable in certain areas of your body.
For sure.
So number 2, you haven't figured out. Steve, you had to do this.
I had to do this. Number 2.
Well, you're with your wife.
Yes.
And at some point you go, wow, we are clicking. This is working. This is this is
Meet the parents.
There we go.
Boom.
Good job.
Good answer.
You are number 2. Most comfortable thing you do. You are comfortable with somebody if you're willing to meet their family. And
yeah. I mean, it was a little nerve wracking, but once it starts, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like as soon as you go into it and you're like, oh, these people are cool with me how I am, then there's zero pressure.
And I ask you this all the time because it would be bothering me, but see, everything bothers me because of the age difference. I think that's something that I've, if it's beyond a certain amount of years, I think the parents, at least in my generation, would say something like, I can't believe you're dating this person who's this much older than you. And it would work both ways, whether it be the guy or the girl who's the kid.
Oh, I think that was more of her, like, not saying this as a goof, but like it was more of her problem because like she had to break that news to them. It wasn't like I showed up and this is the first time when they realize the age difference. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's nice
They
that
already,
she did that.
like, she's already sold me on them before I ever met them. Like,
That's cool she did that.
Well, yeah, I mean, she kind of, wanted her parents to like me, because she even said, like, if my parents didn't like you, the relationship would have never happened.
Oh, I see. Because she wasn't like ready to just be a rebellious person. She was going to try to get them to dig you or not.
Well, yeah, her family's opinion of things is very important to her.
What kind of relationship is that, where kids are listening to their parents,
right? But I went into it already being like pumped up. If that's a bad term.
Yeah, maybe you don't want to be using that.
She put me over in front of her parents.
That doesn't sound right either. That sounds like
it's a wrestling term. I get it. Yeah, I understand what's going on there.
She sold the attributes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And didn't talk about the negatives, I guess. I don't know.
So sleeping in the same bed, meeting their family, leaving the door open when you use the bathroom. Number 4 we haven't covered yet. And this one's a very intimate thing that, I don't know, I guess women would love to hear this kind of stuff, the average woman, whereas the average man doesn't like even doing this kind of stuff.
Pet names or something?
Oh, pet names is on the list, Rev, but it is actually, it's funny. We've got 2 pet references on this. Number 6 will be calling each other pet names. Number 9 is trusting them to take care of your pet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'd have no problem with that. As a matter of fact, if you could take my pet off my hands, that would make us basically married. I'd be like, okay, who are you?
But then you get married, then the pet comes back.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'd have to break up with him and then just move. I'd be like, what the heck? Number 4 involves intimacy, but not on a physical level. How's that?
Saying I love you?
Ooh, well, you're on the right track, but it's more about
giving them your Facebook password. Or MySpace.
Personally, I don't think you should ever have to do that in a really good relationship.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, I know, but you'd be surprised how many people think that way, though, Steve.
Turning your account into a joint account.
Oh, that's a good one, Steve.
Nothing says relationship issues more than when they have a joint account.
I think that's
good answer.
Kind of number 10, which is talking about having a future together. Like you start planning, like, well, here's what I'm going to be doing, and you're part of it.
That'd be great to get down on one knee. They think you're pulling out a ring, you pull out your cell phone, and you show them that you're changing the name of your Facebook account and be like, it's a joint account now.
It's now a joint account, sweetheart. This one here is telling them a deep secret.
Oh.
Do you remember when you told your wife something that you really weren't happy to tell anybody, but you thought, hey, you know what?
I have no idea, no.
See, I didn't think that you were that guy to do that. I don't know if you...
I really have nothing. Like, it's just like everything I've said is...
Don't you have to be deep to have a deep secret? Hey, I did that.
Sure did.
Yeah.
And the crowd goes wild, BJ.
You know what? For the people that care about depth, that was hilarious.
No, I mean, everything, I'm a pretty open book, so it wasn't like, hey, this is my dark secret, I'll let you know. I mean, I'm sure I shared things with her that maybe like feelings and thoughts that I wouldn't share with like everybody in the room, but like in general, like the embarrassing stuff about me, or I've already done on the air, so.
I think that is a deep secret. If you have thoughts that you wouldn't share with us and with your buddies, but you share with her, I feel like that's the same thing as a deep secret.
But I don't view it as a secret.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's more of... I don't know. There are certain people in relationships that I know and certain people in life that have these deep secrets. But I think sharing your thoughts that you won't share with somebody else, including let's just say your locker room buddies. I mean, you got your best friends.
Yeah.
Your hockey buddies. And if you're sharing stuff with her you wouldn't share with them, I think that counts.
Yeah, I don't know if I've necessarily, though, fully not shared those things with them. Granted, maybe it's like under the influence of alcohol. I'm like, let me tell you something, Munson. And then we have that heartfelt conversation.
Yeah.
And then we go back to slamming beers.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And slamming beers naked. Let's because it's in the locker room.
And our friend Beers, he never liked it when we did that.
Oh, poor Beers.
Is he related to Bubbles? Because he wants people to stop. Jesus. Yeah. Anyway, yesterday, Steve, he knew the answer, but he couldn't pronounce it.
What is the highest mountain in Africa?
Mount Kilimanjaro.
What was that?
Mount Kilimanjaro.
No.
Kilimanjaro.
No.
How many? Oh,
how many? Why am I stupid?
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Kilimanjaro.
No, you still didn't get it right again.
Kilimanjaro.
That's it.
Well, almost.
Yeah, just think of
Kilimanjaro.
Just think Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
Kilimanjaro.
Try it. Kilimanjaro.
Well, he did it. But he did it too late because that was the correct answer. You want a shot at beating Steve? All right, you got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs at 8:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Here's a question from a listener. My house is currently in foreclosure. I've stopped making payments. What can I do to save my house?
If you're already in foreclosure behind on your mortgage, you can stop the foreclosure by filing a bankruptcy. There's different types of bankruptcy. Chapter 13 can help you catch up on your house payments if you're behind. It would mean that you'd have to start making your house payments again and catch up on the amount that you're behind over 5 years. You could also take off or strip off your second mortgage, which would help you to reduce your housing payment every month, especially once you're done with the plan and done catching up on your first mortgage. We could also try to buy you some time by filing a Chapter 13 case. Filing a Chapter 13 would definitely stop your foreclosure.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. And thanks for listening.
New on Curiosity Stream. The way we fight wars is changing. Every technological leap redraws the battle lines. How will war be waged in the decades to come? See what lies ahead in the limited series, Future Warfare. And uncover the influence of European cities on the greatest musical compositions ever written in the captivating series, Classical Destinations. It's all on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load, terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.